Bishan is a charming town located in the heart of Singapore. Not known to many, the name Bishan was derived from an old cemetery called Bishan, which means pavilions on the green, and once occupied the plot of land the new town is now standing on. The Bishan Heritage Trail takes you on a journey to 10 key landmarks in the estate and explores the history, culture, and heritage of these places. Our first location is the Harmony Centre at Nanda Mosque. Housed in Nanda Mosque, the Harmony Centre is an integrated hub that promotes a greater understanding of Islam and the lifestyles of Muslims. The centre showcases a rich variety of exhibits and artifacts on the Islamic faith. It features the personal histories of renowned Muslim personalities who have made significant contributions to modern civilization. A key cornerstone in Singapore's effort to promote inter-religious harmony and interfaith dialogues, the centre also showcases the 10 official religions in Singapore. Our second location is Bishan Heartland. Before the 1980s, the land that Bishan New Town stands on today was the site of an old cemetery called Bishan, one of the biggest cemeteries in Singapore. In 1984, all graves were exhumed and remains cremated to allow for residential and commercial developments. Today, you can find more than 19,000 dwelling units at the Bishan Heartland, housing a population of more than 67,000. The history of Bishan as a cemetery filled with pavilions also inspired the subsequent design of the apartment blocks' distinctive sloped and coloured roofs at staggered heights. Besides roof terraces, the romance of the old pavilions can also be seen in the design of precinct entrances, access paths, and rest areas that reflect Bishan's pavilion heritage. Our third location is Bishan Community Club. In Singapore, community clubs, or CCs, are set up by the People's Association as meeting grounds for residents of all races and ages to make new friends and explore common interests. The 1950s and early 1960s saw turbulent times for the country. Racial riots and political strife meant that Singapore was a divided society made up of communal groups that were closely knit as individual units but were pulling in different directions from each other. On 1st July 1960s, the People's Association was formed to help foster racial harmony and social cohesion. Bishan CC is an activity hub where residents get together to enjoy myriad activities and bond with one another. It was officially opened on 26 April 1998 by Mr. Wong Kan Singh, Deputy Prime Minister. Our fourth location is Bishan Park. Bishan Park is one of the largest and most popular parks in Singapore. With its wide array of facilities, Bishan Park has emerged as one of the key lifestyle parks, reinforcing Singapore's image as Garden City. concept of Garden City was first envisioned 4 decades ago, driven by Minister Mentor Lee Kuan Yew, then Prime Minister of Singapore. The first tree planting campaign was launched in 1963. The greening concept is still as relevant today, with the government just as committed to the program. At Bishan Park, visitors can access Kallang Riverside Park through Kallang Park Connector. The Park Connector network is an important part of NPark's plans to transform Singapore into a city in a garden. Our 5th location is the Salvation Army Territorial Headquarters. The first Salvation Army headquarters in Singapore was established in 1935 by Brigadier Herbert Lord and was housed in an old Chinese mansion on Killarney Road. It moved to Tank Road, later named Clemenceau Avenue, in 1938 and eventually relocated to its current purpose-built premises on 20 Bishan Street 22 in 1995. The Salvation Army's long-standing mission is guided by its Christian faith in God and love for all people. It aims to provide care and support for all the needy with a loving heart. The regular donation box standing in front of the HQ building is the compound's most outstanding feature. Our 6th location is Sitoam Buddhist Temple Nunnery. Founded by the late Abbess Venerable Hui Ping in 1941, Sitoam Nunnery was first established in a small rundown hut in the Changi area. Abbess Venerable Hui Ping led the nunnery's devotees through the Japanese occupation by carrying out basic farming activities. In 1977, the Singapore government decided to acquire Sitoam's land for national development. After 3 years of hard work, and with tremendous help from her Buddhist followers, Abbess Hui Ping eventually realized her dream to build the largest nunnery in Singapore at the present premises. The late Abbess was a very good cook. She advocated vegetarian food for good health and even wrote a cookbook, which is probably the first vegetarian cookbook ever published in Singapore. Our 7th location is Gong Pocoxi Monastery. The monastery was officially set up in 1921 by Venerable Zhuan Dao, who is from China. Since it is situated on Gongming San, or Bright Hill, it came to be known as Gongming San Pocoxi Monastery. The oldest building is the Hall of Universal Brightness, followed by the Hall of Great Strength, the Hall of Great Compassion, the Dharma Hall and Library, the Hall of Precepts, the Sangha Quarters, and the Pagoda of 10,000 Buddhas respectively. the Hall of No Form is most notable for housing an awe-inspiring giant Sakyamuni Buddha that stands at 13.8 meters from its lotus base. Our 8th location is Catholic High School. Founded in 1953 by the late French missionary Reverend Father Edward Becherat, the school takes in both Catholic and non-Catholic students. Reverend Father Becherat's Chinese name, Lao Aihua, translates to loves Chinese and hints at his strong passion for Chinese culture. Catholic High School is a full government-aided school comprising a secondary and a primary section. As one of the 10 current Special Assistant Plan schools in Singapore, it provides top students the opportunity to learn both English and Chinese at first language level. Since its inception, the school's mission has been to nurture bilingual scholars and gentlemen of high integrity and robust character who are passionate about life, learning, and serving others. Its 4 core values are love, constancy of purpose, creativity, and continuous improvement. Boundary stones named Bishan Ting can be found at the southwest and south perimeters of the campus, defining the boundary between the school and adjacent housing estates. These marker stones are believed to be the only ones left intact after the original Bishan Ting burial ground was cleared for public housing in 1979. Our 9th location is Raffles Institution. Raffles Institution, or RI, was founded in 1823 by Sir Stamford Raffles, the founder of modern Singapore. The school attracts the best students regardless of background, race, or creed, and offers an integrated 6-year program called the Raffles Program for students from Secondary 1 to Pre-University 2. The school's aspiration to cultivate leaders for the wider community is reflected in its school motto, Auspicium Melioris Aevi, which means hope of a better age. Sir Stamford Raffles' vision has been realized by the generations of leaders which have passed through the school gates. A heritage centre housed at Raffles Institution's school atrium showcases the history and heritage of the prestigious Rafflesian legacy. The Hullet Memorial Library is arguably the oldest library in Singapore and is designed in the era of Sir Stamford Raffles' time, with furniture custom made along the lines of the Regency style. Our 10th and last location is Gong Bishan Ting. Bishan Ting was established in 1870 by the early immigrants who brought with them from China their traditions and values of ancestor veneration, as was practiced for thousands of years. Families observe the Spring-Autumn Festival and pay respects to their ancestors during these 2 occasions. Ancestor veneration has now become a living heritage of Singapore. During the 1970s, the management of Bishan Ting received notice from the government that the land had been earmarked for a new town development. The government of Singapore encourages cremation rather than burial so as to maximize land use. At that time, Bishan Ting consisted of 324 acres with more than 100,000 graves and was one of the biggest cemeteries in Singapore. Thus, all existing graves were exhumed and remains cremated during the 1980s. In a bid to preserve its traditions, the Cantonese community decided to rebuild Bishan Ting, and the government agreed to lease back 8 acres of land for this endeavour. Today, Gong Bishan Ting at Bishan Lane is a gentle reminder of the past and plays a key role in preserving an important part of the heritage and identity of Chinese culture.